Have you been hearing bumps in the night? Have you seen flickers of light in the sky? How about shadows in rural forests? You're not alone. People have been seeing odd phenomena and coming up with scary stories and legends to explain them for centuries. We gathered some of the best, most obscure and creepiest urban legends to ghost your friends. But be warned, because the top 10 coolest stuff comes with a list of lesser known and scary top 10 urban legends by state. Might have you checking your own backyard after watching this video. Some urban myths and legends turn toward the ridiculous and silly, while some are terrifying and true or close to it. These are some of the scariest urban legends in every state, some based on real stories. Now let's get started with the number 10. Connecticut, Hannah Krana. It is known as the Wicked Witch of Monroe. Hannah Krana gained a reputation as a witch in the 19th century when her husband died by mysteriously falling off a cliff, and locals reportedly believed that she had bewitched him. People also believed that she would cast spells on people she didn't like. Hannah lived to the age of 77, but right before she died, she asked to be carried down to the cemetery in her coffin by foot, not by wagon. After her death, the people of Monroe tried to wheel her coffin down the hill, but were unable. The coffin kept falling off, so they were forced to carry it. 9. The spider bite. You may have heard this urban tale about a child who was bitten by a spider while exploring. Maybe you know someone who has a coworker who experienced the same thing. As his mother gave him a hot bath, the bite began oozing, but this was no ordinary bite. The site was hatching, releasing thousands of spider's eggs from the boy's skin as his horrified mum looked on. This was funniest and ridiculous to hear that. 8. Alaska, the Kalipalik. The Kalipalik, a unique version of a siren, calls with a hum to children who are wandering too close to the seashore, then takes them away in her baby pouch. The greenish, woman-like creature will never return a child once taken into the depths. Sounds like a good way to convince your kids not to go in the water, if you ask us. Stick them in front of a great Halloween movie for kids instead. Before going further, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you never miss the latest updates. 7. Arkansas, the Golden Light. Like many urban legends, the story of the Golden Light has several variations. In one, a railroad worker was hit by a train and beheaded. His spirit can still be seen today, searching for his lost light. In another, the railroad worker bore a violent grudge against his boss who had fired him. He murdered his former employer with a railroad spike, and the victim now wanders the tracks. While the Golden Light is well documented, no one has been able to offer an explanation as to what it really is. 6. The Ghost of Stowe Lake. San Francisco's Golden Gate Park is home to one of the city's most famous ghosts. Stowe Lake is said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman who, after attempting to save her child who fell in the water, drowned in the lake. Legend goes that this woman, referred to as the White Lady, wanders the edges of Stowe Lake as she searches for her baby. She can even be summoned by visitors. It's said that the most active area surrounding the lake is near the Pioneer Women and Children statue. Brave ghost seekers can summon the woman by calling out, White Lady, I have your baby," 3 times. If she believes you, the woman will appear before you and will ask for her baby back. The legend beware both skeptics and believers from doing this, for if you tell her you to have a baby, the woman will haunt you for the rest of your life. If you tell the woman you don't have a baby after summoning her, legend says she will drag you into Stowe Lake and give you the same watery death she suffered. 5. Indiana, the 100 Steps Cemetery. The 100 Steps Cemetery is located in the town of Brazil, though the official address is actually disputed. While it's not clear when the stories about the cemetery being haunted began, there are gravestones that date back to the 1860s. The legend states that if someone finds themselves in the cemetery at midnight, they must climb the steps and count to 100. At this point, a ghost of an undertaker will appear and show the person a vision of their death. On the way back down, the visitor is supposed to count the steps again. If they count the same number of steps, the vision was false. People who visited the cemetery in the past are trying to outsmart the supernatural forces in 100 steps by avoiding the steps altogether. They've reported being knocked or shoved to the ground by an unseen force. When the townspeople returned to her home, it was found to be engulfed in flames, sealing Hannah's reputation for witchcraft. Now you can visit her real grave in Trumbull. 4. Screaming Jenny. Jenny, a poor woman with no family, lived along the B&O Railroad in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. One day, she was warming up broth over a campfire. A spark flew from the fire and caught her dress. As Jenny screamed for help, the fire grew bigger, engulfing her in flames. In a last-chance attempt, she fell onto the train tracks trying to get the attention of an approaching train. But it was too late, and the train hit Jenny. Today, people claim that on the anniversary of her death, Jenny's burning ghost can be seen on the very same West Virginia tracks. Some say you can still hear her screams late at night. 3. Maine, Colonel Buck's Tomb. A drive along Maine's rocky coast is annoyingly picturesque. Pretty little towns and roads are cluttered with leisure drivers, when all you really want is a clear path to the cursed tomb of Colonel. The tomb of the town's founder, Colonel Jonathan Buck, features a mysterious stain. The image of a woman's stocking-clad foot, or maybe a boot. After a woman became pregnant with Colonel Buck's son, he forced her out to take care of the baby alone, later having her burned as a witch. The son ran off with the witch's leg that had rolled out of the bonfire, and he later cursed the Colonel's tomb, which now bears the stain of a leg despite several attempts to clean, replace, or remove it. 2. Alabama, Hell's Gate Bridge. The generally accepted story of Hell's Gate Bridge starts in the 1950s. A young couple driving over the bridge somehow drove their car off the bridge one night and they both drowned. There are 2 legends associated with Hell's Gate Bridge. One is that if you drag your car out to the middle of the bridge and turn off the lights, the couple will magically appear in your car and leave a wet spot on the seat. The other, which is how the bridge got its name, is the belief that if you drive over the bridge and look over your shoulder halfway through, the scenery behind you turns into a portal to hell engulfed in flames. Potentially to curb ghost hunters and bored teenagers, Hell's Gate Bridge is closed to cars, and it is in such disrepair that walking across is strongly discouraged. 1. Bloody Mary. This may be the most famous urban legend in the UK. Storytellers say if you look in the mirror and say, "Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary," something might happen, although what exactly changes with each retelling. Over the years, the legend has changed, as people once believed that if an unmarried woman said the 3 words, she would either see the face of her future husband, or if she saw a skull, she would die single. Believers linked Mary Tudor, Mary First of England, with Bloody Mary for the number of Protestants she put to death for heresy. That's all about today's video. Thank you for watching. If you like this amazing video, thumbs up and share it with your family and friends to make their feeds unique. Stay tuned till next time because upcoming new and unique videos are on the way.